Hello friends and welcome into College Football Now. I am your host Tom Downey, back again with another AP Top 25 just released, and there are indeed some big changes this week. Beginning at number 1 where things have stayed the same. Alabama is still the top team in the nation, but there is a new number 2. The LSU Tigers leap up from number 5 into that second spot. They look impressive. Number 3 here, the Clemson Tigers, they slide down 1 spot. Ohio State also drops a spot. Oklahoma, they move up from 6 to number 5, where they took down Texas. Of course, we'll get to Georgia here in a little bit. But let me know in the comment section, where should LSU be ranked? Let me know what you guys think there. Resume-wise, I think they have a real claim to be number 1, and maybe that's not the same as the eye test, but LSU has had 2 very impressive wins now. Florida and Texas. There are not other teams inside that top 5 who have the same caliber of those 2 impressive wins. Let me know what you guys think. Where should LSU be ranked? I assume we all agree at least the top 5, if not top 3. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Also, stay tuned for a little bit here coming up. Heisman Trophy Power Rankings. The top-tier players have started to differentiate themselves, so stay tuned. We'll break down the top 10, although quite frankly, there is indeed a pretty clear top 5 right now. All right, inside the top 10 here. Number 6, Wisconsin. Number 7, Penn State. Number 8, Notre Dame. Number 9, Florida. And number 10, Georgia, which reminds me, I know Georgia's coming off the ugly loss to South Carolina at home. I get it. But here's the thing, AP poll voters. Georgia beat Notre Dame head-to-head. How can you rank Georgia behind Notre Dame? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. They do this all the time. Head-to-head matters, right? How can you put Notre Dame above Georgia when Notre Dame lost to Georgia? I don't understand it at all. Penn State, by the way, jumps up quite a few spots. They were number 10. Now they're number 7. Georgia slides down 7 spots. Number 11, Auburn. At least they got that one right because Auburn, after all, did lose head-to-head to Florida. But they beat Oregon. They are now number 12. So got those weird one-loss connections there overall. Utah, they're number 13. Boise State is number 14. Texas is number 15. That's 11 through 15 there. So interesting little grouping there. Auburn 11, Oregon 12, Utah 13, Boise State 14. Moving down to number 16, that is Michigan. By the way, folks, Michigan will now take on Penn State in the Week 8 matchup here. That's going to be a fantastic showing for those 2 teams. To those 2 teams. Arizona State, they are number 17. Baylor is number 18, SMU is number 19, and Minnesota, welcome into the top 25. They are ranked number 20. A lot of teams lost here in this area, a lot of changes. UC, they are number 21. Missouri's number 22. Iowa slides down all the way to number 23. App State is number 24. I think that's a deservedly top 25 App State program right now. And Washington checks in at number 25. So I want to know from you guys, who is the most overrated team inside the top 25? I normally stand up for them, but I can't justify putting Notre Dame at number 8, 2 whole spots ahead of a Georgia team that they beat head-to-head. I don't understand it whatsoever. So let me know what you guys think. The most overrated team in the top 25. I'm going to go with Notre Dame. They should not be number 8. They can't be ahead of Georgia. Other teams receiving votes here. Tulane. At some point, I want to see them ranked. Iowa State, Temple, by the way, you can see a pretty clear differentiation in the points. These teams are not that close right now. Temple, Wake, Cal also receiving votes. Virginia, they got 8 votes there. Memphis has 6. Look, guys, I'm just going to be honest here. I believe that if you are voting for USC at this point, you should have your vote stripped. How are you going to rank a 3-3 USC team? It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for USC to be ranked. They won their first 2 games. They're 1-3 since then. Doesn't make any sense. They should not be getting votes. South Carolina is number 4. At least they did beat Georgia. A&M has 3 points in terms of the votes. UCF also has 3. San Diego State has 2. And then one pollster out there is voting for Louisiana Tech. Moving on now to some Heisman Trophy Power Rankings. We promised we were going to get to these for you. The top 5 in order. Tua, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields, and Jonathan Taylor. Now, Taylor, he's had a great year, but I think the reality is right now, it is a 4-person front-runner race right now between Tua and Hurts and Burrow and Justin Fields. And quite frankly, you can pretty much argue the order in whatever way you want. Look at the numbers they've all put up this year. Now, Tua has not done much on the ground, but he has the most touchdowns, 29 total. Jalen Hurts, meanwhile, he's done a fantastic job on the ground, 25 total touchdowns this year. Joe Burrow's got 27. He leads all four in terms of passing yards. Justin Fields kind of middling relative to those three in terms of yards and rushing yards, but 26 touchdowns. They are all having fantastic seasons. Now, I feel pretty confident saying Fields is maybe number 4 there, but Tua, Hurts, and Burrow are all having Heisman caliber years. As far as I'm concerned, you can rank them 1A, 1B, 1C, heck, even 1D. All 4 of these players have looked fantastic this year, and it's shaping up. Of course, you do not win the Heisman in October, but it is shaping up to be one heck of a season in terms of the Heisman Trophy race with several high-quality players in the mix, and of course, Jonathan Taylor as well. As of right now, Tua is actually the Heisman Trophy favorite, and if you like betting on sports and betting on college football in particular, go over to BetDSI. It's chatsports.com/bet. They are the internet's #1 sportsbook with the best promo code out there. It's promo code CFB120. You put down $50, they're going to give you $60 for free. That's chatsports.com/bet. We'll get back to the top 10 of the Heisman Trophy, but first, folks, coming up in a little bit, winners and losers from Week 7. I go on a rant for Week 7, I promise you that, because there's one team out there that we need to have a serious discussion about. All right, the rest of the Heisman power rankings. Look, I got Trevor at 6 because Clemson's probably going to go undefeated. His numbers haven't been that great. Did have 4 touchdowns against FSU, but there is a very clear drop-off from number 5 to the rest of this grouping. Justin Herbert, again, a solid showing against Colorado, but not that many touchdowns. J.K. Dobbins putting up great numbers. Jake Fromm slides down in a big way after a poor showing, really overall, by Georgia. And then let's just give a shout-out here to CeeDee Lamb. Is he going to stay in the top 10? I don't know, probably not. But he balled out against Texas. 10 catches, 171 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Texas literally could not tackle him. It made absolutely no sense. He had a bunch of yards after the catch. Lamb had one of the best games in all of college football. So because the top 10 is fluid and it's almost really a 5-man race right now, let's give a shout out here to CeeDee Lamb. All right, guys, make sure you are subscribed to us here on YouTube if you want more college football coverage. Hey, the CFP rankings, we're going to keep doing our projections. And oh, by the way, I have another projection coming out for you guys on Tuesday. Then we'll get to the real thing as well. So make sure you're subscribed, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Time now for some Week 7 winners and losers. We'll begin on the positive side of things. That is Penn State. They dealt with a lot of, I'm just going to call it BS, with the whole letter to one of the players about not having dreadlocks, which was ridiculous that it's 2019 and we're saying that to players apparently. But I'm going to give Penn State a lot of credit for A, getting through that. I thought the shirts were pretty cool too until the school, took them away. Whole different discussion on that point. But they went on the road at Iowa, a place that is very difficult to win, especially at night. Was it the most impressive showing on offense? Not really, but they were 10 of 19 on third downs against a good Iowa offense, picked up a huge win to set up an even more important matchup this coming week against Michigan. All right, next up is Oklahoma. They are now 6-0 after a nice win over Texas at the Red River Showdown. 34-27. Now, Oklahoma, and this is funny to hear out loud, had a season-low yards on offense of 511. That's their low this year. That's how dynamic this offense has been. CeeDee Lamb, as mentioned earlier, had a fantastic showing. Big thing, though, for Oklahoma, the defense stepped up. That is a huge sign, potentially of things to come for the Sooners. If that defense keeps going and playing strong, look out for the Sooners to make a deep push here into the college football playoff. But here's the question. Will Oklahoma go undefeated this year? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. It is very tough to go undefeated in college football. There will be some scares for the Sooners, but if the defense plays like that, and we know how great Lincoln Riley's offense is, they're going to have a very good chance, perhaps one of the better chances among all college football teams. One last winner here, how about P.J. Fleck, who continues to row the boat, this time at Minnesota. And they are now 6-0 for the first time since 2003 after they took down Nebraska fairly easily. Best stat of this, by the way. First time they're ranked since 2014, by the way. They actually won their last 2 games last year. They are now on an 8-game winning streak. That is their longest winning streak since 1948 to the 1949 seasons. That's how long it's been since Minnesota has been this good. The ground game has been great. Defense has been good as well. Rutgers next week, even if it's on the road, they're going to be 7-0. So shout out the Golden Gophers, who, if things go right, I could see them sneaking in the top 15. They're number 20 right now. There could be some losses there. You'll have one between Utah, Arizona State. See what happens. Now, guys, today's show is brought to you by the Action Network. If you need live odds, expert picks, bet tracking, got to download the Action Network at chatsports.com/deal. It's the perfect, complimentary piece to all of your betting needs. 40% off at the Action Network. I felt good about Tennessee, but I wasn't confident this week, so I went on the Action Network app and I saw, hey, there was a higher percentage of the money going to Tennessee versus just the outright number of bets. That meant the sharps were putting their money there, so I doubled down, made some nice money on Tennessee as the home underdog. All right, on now to the Week 7 losers. Memphis, they are first up here. Look, this is also some referee foolery. I don't really know what to call it here. Memphis converted a 4th and 9 with 2:46 left to play. Brady White to Joey Magnifico, elite name. Officials overturned the call, and quite frankly, I don't know what they were looking at. There was no way that was indisputable video evidence. At worst, it should have been upheld. It looked like a damn catch to me. Temple ends up pulling the upset. Memphis now slides out of the top 25. Next up, Notre Dame. But you're going, Tom, wait a minute. Notre Dame beat USC. Barely, but they won. Yes, but here's the problem for Notre Dame. Georgia lost. Of course, Georgia also a big-time loser this week. Notre Dame's path to the college football playoff because of Georgia's loss is now really difficult. I know the pollsters put Notre Dame ahead of Georgia. The committee's not, though. And now Notre Dame needs either A, Georgia to lose several games, which makes their loss look worse, or Georgia to run the table, hope the SEC loses some games, and sneak in as the number 4 team. Because a one-loss Notre Dame team, they're not going to get in over a one-loss Georgia team. Their best path was Georgia goes 12-0, wins the SEC, and Notre Dame gets in because, their only loss was to the number 1 team. For Notre Dame, their CFP chances took a pretty big hit with South Carolina's stunning upset in double overtime. And finally, let's talk about Rutgers, because what the hell are you doing? Against Indiana, this is not a typo. This is not erroneous. This is what happened. Rutgers started somebody named Johnny Langan because their Arthur Sitowski is redshirting. Rutgers had 1 passing yard in 2019, and this is not, by the way, a triple option Army-Navy offense. They threw it 13 times. They completed 5 passes for 1 yard. So they should just forfeit, right? Like, what's the point of even filling a team if you're going to have 1 yard against Indiana, who might go to a bowl game this year, but this is not Ohio State. Rutgers had 1 yard. Greg Schiano cannot get to New Jersey fast enough. So in my rant about Rutgers, I was thinking about, wow, this team's trash. You know who else is probably one of the worst conferences in college football? I say this as a MAC alumnus. The MAC. So what would Rutgers' record be if they played in the MAC? I mean, they'd win a couple games, right? But I honestly don't know, even if it is a Big Ten program, if given the state of Rutgers football, if they'd be a bowl game, if they would make a bowl game, if they'd be a bowl team in the MAC. I honestly don't know if they would be. So let me know, what would Rutgers' record be if they played in the Mid-American Conference? They got spanked by Indiana. Indiana would be the best team in the MAC. But would Rutgers even win 6 games? You got to assume they'd go 1-3 out of conference at best. I don't think they'd be that good. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. All right, folks, one more time here through the AP Top 25. Bama, LSU, they jump up to number 2. LSU has an explosive offense, and I don't think those words have ever come out of my mouth, at least not for a very long time. They have an offense. They are dangerous. Clemson's at 3, Ohio State's at 4, OU is at number 5. Wisconsin is at number 6. Folks, do me a favor. Do not sleep on the Wisconsin Badgers. This team is legit, and most importantly, their defense is incredible. Now, I know Michigan State's offense is a train wreck, but Wisconsin so far this year, they have allowed points in 2 games. They have 4 shutouts in 6 games. They give up 15 to Northwestern, 14 to Michigan. That's all the points they've allowed. That's insane. Penn State 7. For some reason, Notre Dame, who lost to Georgia, is ahead of Georgia at 8. Florida's 9. UGA is 10. Number 11, Auburn. Number 12, Oregon. Number 13, Utah. Oh, by the way, with Boise State 14, Texas 15. Utah, Arizona State. That is an under-the-radar, but a very good matchup in what, frankly, isn't the best grouping of college football games this week. Last week, this current week was way better. This week kind of dips back down a little bit. Michigan is number 16. There's Arizona State, a battle of 2 top 20 programs that will have huge implications in the Pac-12. Baylor's 19, SMU's 19. Shout out Minnesota for being ranked. They got Rutgers next week. They should be 7-0. Look out for the Golden Gophers. 10 wins is a possibility. The last 5 teams here, Cincinnati's number 21, Missouri's number 22, Iowa is number 23, App State is number 24, Washington is number 25, and that's right, folks. Virginia falls out of the top 25. The ACC is down to 1 ranked team. The American has more ranked teams from their conference than the Atlantic Coast Conference. This is a disaster for the ACC. Clemson had better go undefeated because there are not going to be very many quality wins on their schedule this year. But that is your latest AP Top 25.